second place. Bernd Schneider, probably the best all-round sports car driver of the late 1990s. Toyota not looking so impressed now as they were earlier on, and Schneider leads. Schneider leads the Toyotas numbers 2 and 1. That's Boutsen and Brundle. You can see the nose of the Mercedes moving up and down under braking as they brake down there for the final right-hander before this left at Indianapolis. The car always seems to nosedive under braking, but Schneider is trying very hard indeed. You can see the difference. The Mercedes is really moving its tail around as they accelerate away from the slower corners. The Toyota looks very stable. The Weaver, McCarthy, Wallace Audis already in trouble, and we've got a spinner here. This is one of the Riley and Scotts, I believe, and it looks as though he stalled it and can't get it started again, giving everyone a fright. And so it's the first stop for the lead number 17 BMW Coupe. Tom Christensen, a former Le Mans winner despite his youth, in there at the car at the moment, and they are indeed lying fourth behind the Mercedes and the two Toyotas. Very crowded out on the track here. Schneider is determined to get... oh dear, Schneider had a terrible moment there. The enthusiastic Japanese amateur, Terada, in the Auto X, which is basically a Riley and Scott Ford, just didn't see him. Schneider had to apply the brakes, the rear end got all snaky, and that allowed the Toyota to close up. That is one of the hazards of Le Mans. A number 60 there spinning in among the Porsche GTS class is the Linto Duraz car, and another tight moment through. These are also, of course, Le Mans prototype cars. The two Riley and Scotts running together there, managing to nearly trip up Schneider and his battle with the two leading Toyotas. We're going to get a replay here. Schneider makes the decision he's going to try and go through the middle, but then the front car chops him off. This is a very quick part of the course, and you have to be so careful when lapping the back markers. There are speed differentials between the slowest GT3 type Porsche and the front-running cars of over 50 miles an hour, 80 kilometers an hour. But Boutsen has just outbraked Schneider, and Boutsen takes a Toyota back into the lead. These early hours at Le Mans are all important for the images as they fly around the world to show that Toyota can indeed take on Mercedes and run with them right at the front. The Nissan's having a tyre change as well as a refuel, and once again the Toyota and the Mercedes come in together. Let's hope this time there are no clashes in the pit lane. Schneider is out. Schneider is out, and Pedro Lamy of Portugal is getting into the car for the second stint. We can't see if there's been a driver change in the Toyota. Yes, there has. That will be Alan McNish taking over the number 2 car, the young Scotsman. And Lamy is away. Is he away in front of the Toyota? Yes, he is. Pedro Lamy takes the lead Mercedes out in front of the Toyotas. This is turning into a real battle here at Le Mans. Pit stop there for the Audi coupes, and that's Jörg Müller due to take a stint now, a takeover from young Tom Christensen. This car will shortly be driven by JJ Leto, former Le Mans winner and probably the fastest driver at the track. Neat little changeover. Christensen helps Müller into his straps. This team run by Charlie Lamb on the Schnitzer team, and as ever, and a very efficient stop by Lamb's highly trained men. Lovely noise the BMW makes. That's the engine, of course, that's been in the McLaren sports car the last 4 Le Mans. That's Pierluigi Martini waiting to take over from multiple Le Mans winner Yannick Dalmas. So, as everyone makes their driver change stops as opposed to their fuel stops, the Mercedes, now with Pedro Lamy at the lead, thunders by with that deep, evocative Mercedes noise in front of the 3.5-litre turbo Toyotas. Dalmas straps in Pierluigi. Pierluigi, very quick last year for BMW while the cars lasted, which wasn't very long. has emerged as something of a star in that team. There's not much room, as you can see, when you're pulling out of the pits, and he locks up there in order to make sure he doesn't trip up the French dams entered Lola there. Martini having to be careful as he sets off. The lead car with Jörg Müller, the lead of the two BMWs, with Jörg Müller at the wheel. And that car is now leading the race overall from the Boots and McNish Toyota. And and this is a big wreck here. This is Manfred Duras, the amateur driver, and he's had a big off. There's muck all over the track, bits of broken Porsche. I'd get out of the way faster than that, sir. No need to go back. Right, thank you. These are some of the problems of Le Mans. This is Philippe Gache in the Riley and Scott Solution F car, shared with the South African Gary Formato and Marco Apicella, and the car has not proved reliable at all during qualifying and testing. And that looks as though they already have a problem. Very disappointing for the French team. Dust everywhere from somebody else's minor off, with the Toyota closing down now on the lead BMW. Bernd Schneider waits. A Mercedes engineer briefs Frank Lagorce. And out here on the Mulsanne, Toyota makes a move on Jörg Müller and takes the lead. Beautiful sounding car, that BMW, and just such an elegant bodywork on the Toyota. Schneider now gets a chance to add his sixpenny worth as the Toyota comes in following the Audi UK Coupe, still with troubles. That car has not been at all reliable throughout the week here at Le Mans. Jörg Müller sees the BMW carefully through Arnage. Audi banners everywhere, you'll notice. Audi making the most of their return to top-level motorsport. As right up at the end of the pit lane, Müller comes in just for a refueling and pulls away again, still safely at the wheel of his car. The Toyotas, and this is on board from the Toyotas. Can you imagine how hard it is to see as the afternoon, a rather hazy afternoon now, begins to draw to a close? Look at all those bugs on the windscreen at 220 miles an hour. That must be terrifying. We have here a replay of, oh dear, the number 81 car there is the GT3 class leading works supported Porsche being hit very hard by one of the GTS cars. And the Toyota is determined to keep pressing on. The Boots and McNish car back in front of Müller. Meanwhile, back at the pits, the Nissans have another routine pit stop. You see different shaped seats for the different drivers. Get your seat in, get your belts on. There's muck. The black coming out of the nose of the radiator there is just what we call the marbles, the shreddings off the tyres in this very, very warm track temperature. The Nissan gets underway.